Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I hope you all are fine and safe at your homes. We are revising short stories included in our syllabus of third year English literature. Today we will talk about our third short story, A Sunrise on the Veldt by Doris Lessing. Doris Lessing was born in Iran to British parents in 1919. Her family moved to southern Africa, where she spent her childhood on her father's farm in present day Zimbabwe. After the failure of her marriage, she moved to London in 1949. Her first novel, The Grass is Singing, was published in 1950. She is considered an important post-war writer in English. In her writings, she has touched upon a wide range of 20th century issues. Many of her novels are set in Africa, where she spent a considerable period of her life. She won many literary awards for her writings. The most important one is the Nobel Prize in 2007. Along with realist fiction, she also wrote fantasy and science fiction. Politics, race, and gender are some other fields that she explored in her writings. Some other important works of hers are Children of Violence, that is a series of 5 books, The Golden Notebook, The Summer Before the Dark, The Fifth Child. She died in 2013. A Sunrise on the Veldt is a story or character portrayal of a young teenage boy, a young hunter living on an African farmhouse, who is working hard to get control of not only his own body but his surroundings as well. His first attempt, shown in the story, is to bring his sleep under control. He wants to fall asleep and wake up at his own will. In his attempt to achieve his goal, he gives instructions to his mind to wake up at 4:30. With continuous practice, he starts waking up at his desired time. He takes great pride in his achievement when he says, "Even my brain, even that, I can control every part of myself." Just to get control over his sleep, he once keeps awake for 3 continuous days, refusing to feel any fatigue. And now, as the author comments, sleep seemed to him a servant to be commanded, and refused. He very early leaves his house with his gun and dogs without putting on his shoes, though the weather is extremely cold. He does not let his parents know how early he wakes up and leaves. The shoes are to be worn only when the ground becomes too hot to walk barefooted. He considers it one more step towards his self-control and says to himself, "I could walk 100 miles on feet like these. I could walk all day and never tire." He passes through an area of thick grass that reaches up to his shoulder. One of his purposes in coming so early to that area is that he wants to hunt fowls, but soon he realizes that he is a little bit late and he will have to wait for another day. With his desire to become invincible, he practices a style of running used by the native Africans that enables a person to run for longer periods of time without any feelings of fatigue. Suddenly he starts running and yelling joyously. His movements resemble those of a young stout animal. he rejoices by thinking that he is now 15 years old. In his youthful fallacy, he thinks, and there is nothing I can't become, nothing I can't do. If I choose, I can change everything that is going to happen. He sings excitedly and gets echoed. At this moment, he feels himself to be at the center of a kingdom where he thinks that he is all powerful. And then comes a sudden change in the mood of the story. A new voice is heard. As the author puts it, a kind of shortened scream. He finds a buck whose injured body is covered with black ants and it is dying a slow, painful death. The boy who just a moment ago was feeling all powerful now experiences new emotions of fear, terror, pity, rage, and helplessness. First, he decides to kill the animal to end his pain. Actually, this is his way of showing sympathy and pity to the animal. But then he lowers his gun with a thought: if I would have not come, it would have died like this. The boy is caught in a moment of self realization. He comes to know of his limits with quite an ironical reversal in his thoughts. Now he says to himself, I can't stop it. I can't stop it. There is nothing I can do. In saying so, he is not only referring to the death of the buck, but death in general. This is how life goes on by living things dying in anguish. This is a nerve shattering experience for the young boy. A moment ago, he seems to be power drunk. The very next moment, this feeling is blown away and he finds himself humbled by the forces beyond human control. This new lesson is quite heavy on his heart, and he returns home defeatedly in a confused state of mind. The story is Sunrise on the Veldt presents the journey of a teenage boy from deception to self-realization, from adolescent immaturity to coming to reason, from feelings of being all-powerful to realization of man's insignificance before ruthless forces of nature, from feeling invincible to becoming vulnerable. The boy in the story has been given no name, thus an individual experience seems to gain universal significance. The title also holds a symbolic significance. The boy starts his journey from his home to the world when it is still pitch dark, as the boy himself is in the dark or unaware of his power limits. With the sunrise, the world is seen in all its true colors. Similarly, the boy also gets enlightened and moves from ignorance to awareness. The soliloquies of the young hunter play a key role in the understanding of the working of his mind. The interior of the protagonist has been explored through these soliloquies. Existential crisis is another angle to look at the story. If a person is baffled with big questions concerning the meaning of life, he may be having an existential crisis, as this is a moment when an individual is confused about the purpose and value of his life. Here in this story, we find the boy coming face to face with the darker realities of life, like death and forces beyond his control, thus shaking his feelings of superiority and immense confidence to have control over not only his own self but also his surroundings. The use of figurative language makes the story a captivating read. The writer has aptly used many techniques like imagery, simile, irony to keep the reader engrossed in the story. Dear students, please try to find out the examples in the text and share with me. Overall, it can be said that the journey of the young boy started with feelings that can be described in William Cooper's words: I am monarch of all I survey. My right there is none to dispute. This journey culminated in boy's own words: I can't stop it. I can't stop it. There is nothing I can do. And the last sentence of the story says, soon the very next morning he would get clear of everybody and go to the bush and think about it. This is an indication that this incident has left a deep impact on the mind of the young hunter, and from now onwards he is all set to embark upon a journey involving a whole new set of ideas and thought process. Dear students, I hope you will find this discussion quite helpful in your preparation for exams. Any questions from your side are most welcome. Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.